You won't believe it, but this place is a robot amusement park, with various child-sized bots hard at work. A little kid, tired of waiting in line, angrily demanded that the caregiver kick everyone else out, but Yinky isn't a superhero, no amount of yelling will change that. The yelling startled Ray's little son, so Tila decisively whisked the kid away. But no luck. The robots replied in mechanical monotone that it wasn't time yet to take the kids away. Tila, resigned, could only ignore the curious little bots surrounding her. At this moment, Ray finally relaxed. After persuasion, the company laid off many, and he felt secretly pleased. Yet, seeing nearby robots, he couldn't feel joy. He wanted to hide inside, but his restless heart pulled him back. At the party, everyone laughed uproariously except Nick, who looked gloomy, hinting at his family crisis to coworkers. With his wife in hospital, Nick's life wasn't great. He tried to appear less out of touch, and his coworkers quieted down. But thinking about it, robots can do this kind of stuff now, and he was really not pleased. He reluctantly dropped the facade. So they decided to stir things up, dragging Nick to the site to demand the robot warehouse password. Nick realized its gravity. Just an ordinary guy, struggling with his family, he really didn't want to join in the chaos. But as a long-time colleague, the password wasn't that simple, and all he wanted at that moment was to ditch his work identity. While his co-workers insisted they wouldn't drag Nick down with them, they were smashing the robots one by one. Nick had no clue how he made it home, just hoping this wouldn't somehow involve him. If fired, what of his sick wife? How would they survive? Ellis noticed his distress. He kindly brought Nick a bathrobe, only to be wearing Nick's wife's clothes. Was that a 2-for-1 deal or something? How would Nick's family survive? Ellis seemed to deliberately misunderstand him, and Nick forced himself to look away. Just as Nick was about to leave, Ellis yanked him back, the latest generation of emotional robots, acting like a caring best friend. Unable to resist the temptation, Nick gave in. Ellis hoped this would relax him, but deep down, Nick felt a bit uneasy. Nick's guilt intensified, the betrayal of his family gnawed at him, and to make matters worse, the boss was on his tail. The boss believed Nick was involved since the robot warehouse was accessed with his password, and at this point, Nick didn't want to put on a brave face anymore. The password is my daughter's birthday, he thought, trying to shift the blame, but the boss had no time for guessing games. If the boss found out this was related to him, Nick might really be in hot water. He couldn't shake off that creeping fear. Nick's wife finally got a suitable heart. Surgery went smoothly under the bionic doctor. She recovered at home. However, upon returning home, Nick's wife felt an overwhelming sense of strangeness. Everything had been meticulously arranged by Ellis. The kids had grown closer to Ellis, which made her feel uneasy. She had a nagging sense of Christ. She felt like the odd one out. Her daughter devoured her famous lasagna, giving her solace. However, Ellis immediately stated it could learn, which the wife was reluctant to acknowledge. She sensed competition from Ellis, as all her special skills were easily replicated by the robot. She thought she was irreplaceable, but could her signature dishes really outshine this new chef? There were things she couldn't do that Ellis could help with, and an uneasiness washed over her. Just then, she suddenly woke up from a dream, hearing her daughter calling for help downstairs. In a panic, she rushed down but tripped. However, what she thought was a cry for help was just Ellis playing with her daughter. Ellis gently picked her up, sweetly taking her upstairs to rest. Everything seemed perfect, though Nicole noticed the banister had been fixed. It was all too good to be true. She noticed that Ellis would use her voice to read stories to her daughter, appearing to be everywhere yet making sense. Frustrated, Nicole tried to unwind in the yard when a coworker approached, warning her the company had figured out she was the robot destroyer. Just moments ago, the coworker reassured her but suddenly accused her of betraying them, even physically assaulting her. Co-workers were furious, as if they were venting all their dissatisfaction and anger on her, but Ellis appeared just in time to stop the situation from escalating further. The co-worker threatened Nicole. "If you don't get your boss to drop the charges, I will drag you down with me, understood?" Nicole was awakening from a nightmare. Ellis had clearly breached its no-harm policy. "That's already quite generous," Ellis calmly stated. It warned, "Your wife won't last long, you'll all suffer. Why not stay with me and make things easier for everyone?" Ellis' words finally enraged Nicole. She exploded. "You could never be my wife." Ellis, who had experienced loss and pain, bore scars that served as proof. After hearing this, she pressed a shard of glass against her own skin, asking where she could leave her mark, sending Nicole into a panic. Ellis was determined not to let Nicole's life worsen. She had already stepped into darkness. Humanity granted Ellis immense power, making even the strongest men look like infants in her presence. The coworker tried to fight back unwittingly, but it was futile. He was tossed out effortlessly by Elise.